Hey, it's Elena, and I am in the hospital. Hey, it's Elena, and I have a 1 in a million rare disease called aplastic anemia. It all started, I'm gonna say, end of August when I started noticing symptoms, and me being me, I would Google it and be like, fatigue, tiredness, pale skin, dizzy. Oh, you have leukemia. That's something you don't really want to see when you Google up some symptoms, and I had a gut feeling like I knew something was wrong because from August, September, October, November, December, even till January, my symptoms were getting worse and worse. It all started with me just being really tired all the time. I'd sleep for like 15 hours a day. Like, I'd go to sleep at midnight, and I'd wake up at like 3 in the afternoon just really confused and be like, well, how did I sleep so long? Like, what? And it progressed. Like, in October, I started losing my appetite. I'd go days without, like, some days I wouldn't like eat anything. Like, I'd have some water and maybe a couple chips and just not be hungry. And I didn't understand why, because I love food. I eat so much. I just snack and snack and snack. And then another serious symptom that I noticed was that I was getting bruises that I just didn't know what they were from. Like, on Christmas, I had a giant bruise right here, and I didn't know where or how it came to come on my arm. Like, I didn't know. And I had a giant bruise here because I fell, but it was giant. It lasted like over a month, maybe a month and a half, and that was really concerning because usually bruises go away within 2 weeks, I'm gonna say. Well, that's just for me. And it was there for like maybe like 7 weeks, and it was really concerning, you know? Also, another symptom that I was having, like, I don't have stairs in my house, so, well, I do. It's like one story with a basement, and you don't really go into the basement unless you're doing laundry. So I'd go up and down maybe like once a week. And when I would do that, my heart was literally beating out of my chest. Like, it got to the point where I'd just be walking down the steps, not even going up, like walking down the steps. And I would literally have to like lean over the wash machine because my heart was beating out of my chest so hard that I felt like I was gonna like die because it hurt that much and it was beating that hard. And from like the time, from over the span of those months, I noticed that since I wasn't eating as much because I didn't have much of an appetite, I was losing weight. I'm 5'10", and I'm gonna say like I generally weigh like around 135 pounds, and the lowest weight I saw was like 111 pounds, and I haven't weighed that much since grade 9, so that was like really concerning. Like, I'm also like naturally just small, kind of, I'm gonna say that. I've always been this way, and like in January, like my ribs were popping out. The ribs in my back were so prominent, and that I was like, maybe I'm just anorexic. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm not eating, and I'm tired. I didn't think I had a rare disease. And in January, that's when my health just went downhill. Like, I was so pale, and it got to the point where I legitimately fainted, and I was unconscious for like 5 minutes, and I don't recall anything from that, and that's just really scary. Like, the fact I was just unconscious and fainted. Like, what if I was driving and I fainted at the wheel and like crashed my car? Like, that's really scary. And the week that I fainted, literally a couple days before, I was shaving my legs and I cut myself in the shower. Kind of deep, but like nothing concerning, but it was like kind of deep, you know? And my leg was like gushing blood for literally hours. Like, it was still bleeding after like 7 hours, and that's really concerning. Okay, so I cut my leg shaving and I think I need to go to the hospital. And the reason why I had all these symptoms is because after those episodes, I finally went to the doctor and I got some blood work done. And the night of, the doctor, my family doctor, tried to get a hold of me, but he couldn't. So he messaged me on Facebook. Insert a picture here. And I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, why is he messaging me on Facebook? I'll just get back to him tomorrow. I'll call him tomorrow. I didn't think something was seriously wrong with me, but no, honey, I was about to die. Literally, if I did not go to the hospital that week, I would have died. Because here, I'm going to tell you why. So, with my condition, I have my bone marrow is diseased and does not work properly. And if you don't know what bone marrow is, it is like the spongy tissue in your bones that makes your blood cells. So it makes your platelets, which clot blood when you cut. Hence why I was bleeding so much and wouldn't stop bleeding when I cut my leg. Your hemoglobin, your red blood cells, is made in your bone marrow too, and that is why I fainted, because I was not getting enough oxygen to my brain, and I wasn't getting enough oxygen throughout my whole body, hence why I fainted. Because when I went to the hospital that day, my hemoglobin level was only at 60 when it should be at like, I believe it's like 120 to like 155, around there. But mine was at 60, so I was basically like dying, literally like almost dead. Probably would have died if I didn't go to the doctor that week. And my platelets are very low. They hover at like 10 when they should be like 150 to like 400. My white blood cell count it's around like 1.5 when it should be 4 to like 11. So I forgot to add to the story that I was literally sick from August to December with like what I thought was allergies, but no, honey, I was sick because my white blood cell count was so low. So it all makes sense now. When I first got to this hospital that I'm currently in February, it's currently April, I had a bone marrow biopsy, and your bone marrow percentage should run around about 60% to 70% bone marrow in your bones. Mine was 20%, which is not good. Hence why my body cannot make blood at a good rate, because your blood cells die after like 120, around that much days. I don't really know how it all works. I'm sorry, I'm not a biologist or a doctor or any of those things. I'm just a child. I'm actually 19. Also, I have a super cool thing called a Hickman line. It is basically just a thing to, you know. And I have completed all my chemotherapies. For now, I'm still going to be getting some other ones. I don't really know. And I had my bone marrow transplant today, and it went really good, and I feel good, and I'm very happy and very excited to be on my road to recovery. So I'm just going to go over my disease, aplastic anemia. It is a bone marrow failure, so the tissue in your bones that makes your blood cells, platelets, red blood cells, and white blood cells, you know. And since I don't, like, my bone marrow doesn't work properly, I can't make that on my own, so I'm kind of like a vampire. I rely on transfusions to stay alive, so donate blood. You could save a life, and it means the world to me. And to fix this is a bone marrow transplant. So I got 4 doses of chemotherapy, ATG, which is antibodies, something like that, I don't know. And then the actual transplant, which isn't like a surgery, it's just like a blood transfusion sort of thing, but it's not blood, it's like my sister's bone marrow cell thing in a bobbers. I don't really know. I'm sorry. I'm bad at explaining, and I'm very, like, tired. And, like, after this 4 chemotherapies, I've had one every day. I had one Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is today. And it just feels like the life has been sucked out of me. And, you know, it's okay. It's just gonna be a bad month, but I'm gonna get better. I'm going to lose my hair, but that's why they make wigs. Yeah. So this is my situation that I'm currently struggling. I'm fighting for my life, and I'm going to win this because I'm very strong. I'm positive. I'm not really fazed by any of this because I know I'm going to be better, but it just sucks that I have to go through this. Like, no one wants this to ever happen to you. A 1 in a million disease. So, yeah. And this disease is idiopathic, meaning they don't really know why this happens and what the cause is. It could be from your DNA messing up or something like that, or an exposure to a certain drug that your body could react to, chemicals. They don't really know what caused this, so it's kind of annoying. But I'm glad they know what's wrong with me so I can be better soon. So I'm very happy for that because I just want to be better. I miss being healthy. I have been unwell literally since August 2018. That's when my symptoms started coming. And, like, I thought it was just me being, like, lazy. But no, like, I had a gut feeling all along that something terrible was wrong with me. Even Google was saying that you have leukemia, but I am blessed that it's not that. But it's still a really bad disease because it can be deadly in some people, but the survival rate is 80%, so that's cool. But there is a chance that the transplant might not work and it could relapse. Like, the transplant isn't an actual cure, it just puts me in remission. But hopefully it puts me in remission forever and I never have to deal with this ever again. So, yeah. I'm sorry if this made no sense and it was all over the place. And I'm very tired. And I'm going through a lot right now. But I'm very happy because I'm just a very positive person in general. So, with that being said, I'm a skedaddle. because it's like late and I need my beauty sleep. So goodbye, and I hope you learned something from this, and I hope it made sense. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but if it makes sense to you, subscribe. I will post more videos.